Hello and welcome to Spectrum Television News at 12. I am Uyai Anyekan, coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Let's take a look at some of the major stories. President Tinubu directs phased takeoff of universities approved by last administration. Senate President Akpabio meets Tinubu, dismisses crisis in Senate. Plus, President Joe Biden clinches deal with Egypt to allow Israel Gaza aid. We will bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us to begin the news this afternoon. On the national scene, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed the Federal Ministry of Education to stagger the takeoff of some of the federal tertiary institutions established by the previous administration. The Minister of Education, Dr. Maman Tahir, who disclosed this to journalists at the State House Abuja after meeting with President Tinubu, explained that the decision was based on some considerations, including funding. Tahir told journalists at the briefing that he visited the president to update him on developments in his ministry, including issues surrounding a stakeholders conference scheduled for today, appointments of heads of agencies and boards of tertiary institutions. Speaking on the plan for takeoff of the federal institutions established towards the end of the Muhammad Buhari administration, Tahir said there are about 6 specialized institutions which focus on areas like education, agriculture, and medicine. From the Red Chambers, the Senate President Godswill Akpabio has debunked insinuations of a brewing crisis in the upper legislative chamber, insisting that disagreement in the parliament was a normal phenomenon in any democratic setting. The clarification came following a reported shouting match unraveling a crisis between two gladiators, Akpabio and the Senate's chief whip, Ali Ndume, on the floor of the Senate chamber. Speaking with newsmen on the development after meeting with President Bola Tinubu at the presidential villa Abuja, Senator Akpabio said the parliament is populated by only mature minds who are committed to working with the executive to move the country forward. The Senate President noted that he was in the State House to inform the President of the first 10th Assembly retreat, which is taking place today in Akwa Ibom State, and to solicit his support toward ensuring representation at the retreat. Away from that, the Chairman Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), Olanipekun Olukoyede, has said Olukoyede told the Senate shortly before he was cleared that a survey he conducted on 50 individuals and corporate bodies revealed the loss. While promising a paradigm shift by his leadership in the fight against corruption, he canvassed a review of the criminal justice system. The chairman said a review of the system would not only reduce the time spent on investigations and trials of suspects, but save the country from spending in that direction. Meanwhile, the outgoing chairman of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC), Bolaji Owosonye, has given account of his stewardship. According to him, the commission recovered 655 billion naira, looted funds and assets in 4 years. The senior advocate of Nigeria also said that the agency successfully investigated 4,705 out of 6,048 petitions it received during his tenure. He added that 85 convictions were secured from the filed 309 cases prosecuted by the Anti-Graft Commission. Elsewhere, the Nigerian Correctional Service (NCOS) has dismissed 2 personnel and sanctioned 35 others for misconduct. This was contained in a statement by the Service Public Relations Officer, SPRO Abubakar Umar. Umar said the dismissal was part of efforts to ensure discipline among personnel and entrench international best practices. He noted that the officers were sanctioned for misconduct ranging from trafficking in contraband, unauthorized absence from duty, stealing, negligence of duty, criminal conspiracy, as well as aiding and abetting. The SPRO added that the offences constituted threats to security of correctional facilities and could jeopardize public safety and national security. In a separate development, the National Pension Commission and Organized Labour have said that only 6 states and the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, have fully implemented the Contributory Pension Scheme (CPS) as of the end of June 2023, according to PENCOM's second quarter report for 2023. Apart from the FCT, states fully implementing the CPS include Lagos, Osun, Kaduna, Ekiti, Edo, and Ondo, noting that no fewer than 26 states have yet to fully join the scheme. Figures obtained from PENCOM's second quarter report also indicated that while some states were at different levels of compliance, many were not implementing the CPS established by the National Pension Commission, but continued under the old pension scheme known as Defined Benefit Scheme. In another development, Kaduna State Governor Uba Sani has approved the release of 3.1 billion naira for the payment of gratuity to retirees and death benefits for families of the deceased under the Defined Benefit Scheme and the Contributory Pension Scheme. This was contained in a statement by his Chief Press Secretary, Mohammed Shehu. It said Governor Sani remained committed in ensuring that upon retirement, workers who have served the state diligently have full access to the scheme. The statement further added that the state government, through the State Pension Bureau, is resolute in ensuring the continuity of the release of the payments for gratuity and death benefits to beneficiaries in the state. We move down to Africa, where Gabon's military leader, General Brice Nguema, has said that he has given up his salary as president and will only receive a wage as commander of the Republican Guard. A junta spokesman, Orlit Bamfubi, said General Nguema took the decision because of his awareness of social emergencies and many expectations of the Gabonese people. Mafumbi noted that apart from renouncing his salary as president, Nguema also decided to reduce public spending by slashing the allowances for lawmakers, eliminating political funds, and cutting session allowances. Still in Africa, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa and Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky have affirmed their shared desire for a peaceful resolution to the Russia-Ukraine conflict. In a statement, the South African presidency noted that the two held talks at the request of the Ukrainian president. According to the statement, Ramaphosa also committed his country's commitment to active engagement in the Africa Peace Initiative presented earlier this year by 7 African leaders as a possible basis for peace. He also committed to the participation of South Africa for talks in the peace formula outlined by Ukraine, which is held at the level of national security advisors. On the foreign scene, U.S. President Joe Biden has secured a deal with Egypt to deliver limited aid to Gaza to ease a humanitarian crisis amid the Israel-Hamas war. Visiting Tel Aviv, Biden said Israel had a right to hit back for the Hamas attack that triggered the fighting. The United States President noted that Israel had been badly victimized but cautioned against being consumed by rage. He also added that a blast at Gaza hospital was not caused by an Israeli airstrike. Still on the foreign scene, the United States is easing sanctions on Venezuela after the South American country's government and opposition agreed to have next year's election monitored by international observers. Reports say sanctions will be eased on Venezuela's oil, gas, and gold sectors, but other sanctions imposed over the suppression of protest and the erosion of democracy remain in place. Meanwhile, the Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, in a statement warned Venezuela to define a specific timeline and process for the expedited reinstatement of all election candidates by the end of November. Still to come in the news. Super Falcons drew Nnadozie and Uchechibe help clubs qualify for UWCL group stage. Stay with us for details of this and more after the break.
Business exists only to meet the needs of the people, but there's an extra advantage if your product and services are pitched on a platform that gives you the added advantage over your competitors. For your desired return on investment and so much more, advertise on Spectrum Television, on StarTimes DTH Channel 421 and on free-to-air with a frequency of 12733. Spectrum Television, broadening your horizon.
For staying tuned and now to the rest of the news stories. On our business news, the federal government through the Rural Electrification Agency REA in partnership with NG Energy Access Nigeria and a subsidiary of Cross Boundary Access is set to bring clean and stable electricity to 15 rural communities spread across Nigeria. According to a press statement by REA, the public-private partnership agreement, which is a portfolio of mini-grids, will be constructed to connect hundreds of households and micro-businesses in under-deserved and unserved rural communities. The initiative, the agency said, reflects the commitment of President Tinubu's administration to enhance power supply and increase access to reliable electricity for the communities. Still in business, data from Brent Industry has revealed that the global benchmark for crude witnessed a surge in price, trading at about $93 per barrel after hovering around $87 per barrel last week. The data also revealed that Nigeria's oil earnings increased by 273.8 billion naira in September, It was also observed that other crude oil grades in the international market witnessed similar hikes in their various costs. Meanwhile, oil marketers said the gains from the rise in crude production and its price hike are being eroded by the federal government's quiet reintroduction of subsidy on premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol. Moving on to our health stories, the Oyo State government has vowed to deal decisively with individuals who defecate in the open and indiscriminately dump refuse. The State Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Dotun Oyelade, made this known at a two-day media dialogue on open defecation free in the southwest state held in Ibadan. He said the move to penalize open defecators and indiscriminate dumping of refuse was part of efforts aimed at achieving the national target of ending open defecation in Nigeria by 2027. Oyelade, who said the government before 2027 would ensure much improvement in the social menaces and all other diseases plaguing the state, however, appealed to the residents to patronize government-approved waste consultants and stop the unhygienic practice of open defecation. Still in health, the Ogun State government has announced plans to chlorinate wells in some parts of the state following the outbreak of cholera in 3 different local government areas. In a statement signed by the special advisor to Governor Dakwa Abiodun on health, Dr. Tomi Koka noted that the state government alerted the residents of the state to the outbreak of cholera in the local government. Speaking on the cases recorded, the State Commissioner for Health revealed that a total of 217 cases have been recorded in Ijebu North local government area, with additional cases surfacing in Abeokuta North and South local government area. Koka, who made this known during the stakeholders meeting in Abeokuta, added that the key to eliminating cholera is adopting a multi-sectoral strategy. In sports, Super Falcons draw Chiamaka Nnadozie and Christy Uchechibe played pivotal roles as their clubs Paris FC and Benfica earned a berth in the group stage of this season's UEFA Women's Champions League. Paris FC defeated last season's finalist Wolfsburg 2-0 in the second leg of their final qualifying round at the AOK Stadium. Nnadozie saved Dominique Jensen's sports kick in the 61st minute, while Paris FC won the contest 5-3 on aggregate. Meanwhile, midfielder Christy Uchechibe was on target in Portuguese champions Benfica 4-0 rout of Cyprus club Apollon. Still in sports, Manchester United's prospective new owner Jim Ratcliffe has cited that the £60 million signing of Casemiro was a mistake. Ratcliffe questioned the Red Devils' recruitment strategy during talks with the club's chiefs, noting that it undermined the club's chances of achieving success in recent seasons. The English billionaire's bid to purchase 25% of United is expected to be voted on during a board meeting today. On our entertainment news, Flytime has announced a star-studded lineup for the 2023 Flytime Fest. Ahead of the annual fest, Flytime said the lineup includes celebrated superstars from Nigeria and abroad, including Davido, Asake, Kiss Daniel, Roddy Ricch, Lil Durk, among others. The 4-day event, scheduled for the 21st through the 25th of December at the Eko Convention Center, is set to be one of the major highlights of Dirty December. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do well to follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, SpectrumTv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum Television News at 12. I am Uyai Anyekan. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day. Good afternoon.